Hi, everyone. It's nice seeing you today. First off, hi, Great Place to Work certified companies. Welcome to our very first webinar, How to Build a Personal Brand That Elevates Your Employer Brand, organized exclusively for you. I am Carissa, Client Solutions Manager for Great Place to Work Philippines. I am your host for this afternoon. This is exciting as I see the majority of our certified companies here. So I am glad you managed to make it to today's session. So to make this webinar more fun and interactive, we have an exciting activity for you with a special prize at the end of this webinar. We've collaborated with VP Consulting to award not one, but three consulting sessions with the number one LinkedIn expert in the country. And Great Place to Work will also provide you with a marketing consultancy for those who will do well in this activity. We will talk more about this at the end of the session, so make sure you stay tuned until then. So some housekeeping before we begin. The webinar will run for 1 hour. There will be Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Kindly stay on mute throughout the session. Should you have questions, kindly use the Q&A box. As a form of interaction, it would be nice if you can use the emojis, the hearts, the likes, if you find yourself agreeing or appreciating what the speaker is saying. I am sure that this will encourage the speaker. Lastly, at the end of this session, please answer the survey questions. This will also help us to know if this exclusive webinar has been helpful to you. Now, for this afternoon, we have collaborated with a globally recognized coach, consultant, LinkedIn, and personal brand strategist, the founder and chief content strategist for VP Consulting, Virginia Bautista. Virginia, who will help us craft our personal brand, has been featured and cited on Forbes. Marketing in Asia, Entrepreneur Media spoke to international events, including Pioneers Global Virtual Summit and Southeast Asia Forum. She is the creator of Top 100 Filipinos on LinkedIn and co-creator of 100 Most Influential Filipino Women on LinkedIn. As of January 2022, she is the number one LinkedIn expert. So without further ado, let's all welcome Virginia Bautista.
Hey everyone, good afternoon everyone. Thank you so much, Carissa, for that introduction. I'm super excited because I can feel that all of you are from Great Place to Work certified companies. And that means that you are actually from a high trust workplace or a workplace with a high trust culture. And it's a good thing because if you want to build your personal brand, it's very important that your environment is supportive of you. I'll be sharing with you my PowerPoint or my desktop right now. Wait, let me share it right now. So please let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can see it now. I'll be switching to the mode. Okay. So again, this is how to build a personal brand that elevates your employer brand. Give me the spotlight. But today, the thing that I want you to think about is only one thing. So I'll be giving you some tips. How do you build a powerful personal brand on LinkedIn? And how do you actually use your personal brand to elevate your employer brand? But I want you to think about one thing only. And that one thing is you. It's not the you that you probably don't know. Because for most of us, and I have spoken to a lot of people, for most of us, we think that we know who we are. But because we are so busy doing a lot of things, sometimes we forget to take a pause and really get to know who we are. But today, for 1 hour, I'd like you to think about you, who you are. Pay attention to that voice that you have probably been ignoring for so long, because the foundation of building a personal brand is really knowing who you are from the inside out and knowing what you stand for. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I am so honored to be here. And I'm going to skip the introduction because Carissa already mentioned here this, but I just want to highlight that all of the things that I was able to do it through LinkedIn. So all of these, organic views, features on Forbes, all of these opportunities, being number one on Google search, having worked with clients from more than 15 countries in 5 regions worldwide, having a community of top 100 Filipinos on LinkedIn. And also, we're coming up with the most influential Filipino women on LinkedIn on March 8th. That will be International Women's Day. And also, being content creator educator at NAS Academy, founding host of LinkedIn Local Philippines, being a writer for social media and others, and being able to rebrand twice. I was a college professor for more than 11 years. Then I rebranded when I shifted to becoming a freelance writer and editor for more than 10 years. And then I met LinkedIn. And so I rebranded again to being a LinkedIn consultant, trainer, and speaker, and eventually niche down to being a LinkedIn personal brand strategist. So you can imagine how many times I rebranded. So, and that's what I do also for a client. And that's what for our clients. And that's what I want to share with you also this afternoon. How do you actually be authentic, be you, and build a powerful personal brand, and then use that to elevate your employer brand. So I have here what we're going to cover. First, I'll give you just a snapshot of what employer or personal branding is all about and why does it matter. Second, why do you need to build your personal brand on LinkedIn? Especially thinking that you already have an award. You are a great place to work certified. You're from a company that is already certified, known to have a great culture. So, why do you need to build your personal brand on LinkedIn or why on LinkedIn? Third, I'm going to show you some tips. How should you complete? How should you optimize your LinkedIn profile so that you are recognized for what you stand for? And it's so that it is authentic. Fourth, I'll show you how do you actually use your own personal brand to elevate your employer brand. When we say employer brand, we're referring to the brand of your company as an employer. And I am hoping that you're bringing with you lots of questions. I would be ready and I would be happy to answer them. First of all, let's talk about the basic. What is a personal brand? Okay, on the chat box, I'd like you to say yes or no. Are you familiar with what a personal brand is? Just a yes or no. When I look on my right, I'm looking at the chat box. So just say yes or type yes if you're familiar with what personal brand is all about, and no if it's not. I can see a lot of yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. And that must be the reason you're here because you know the power of a personal brand. And you're probably thinking, how can you actually build a powerful personal brand on LinkedIn? Because building a personal brand is a different story from building a personal brand on LinkedIn. So, simply put, your personal brand is simply your reputation. It's very simple. And that's also the reason most people take it for granted. I have a reputation. I know what people think about me. They take it for granted. Most people don't deliberately curate, their professional experiences and that just let things happen to them. But what I'm going to show you now is how do you become deliberate in building a personal brand on LinkedIn? Remember Jeff Bezos, he said, your brand is what people or other people say about you when you're not in the room. And you know what? These days, since 2020, when we all start working from home, sometimes maybe you've joined a company or a colleague joined your company and you probably have not met them face to face. And the first thing that we will do is to go to Google search, type in the name, and if your LinkedIn profile is optimized, the first thing that will appear on page one of Google search is actually your LinkedIn profile. Okay. Now, why does personal branding matter? I saw on LinkedIn that Tony published an article today, published a newsletter, and she explains why employer branding matters. And I totally agree with the point she raised. But I'm coming from a perspective of personal branding. Why does it matter? Employer branding matters, we know that, but personal branding also matters. And what if we can be powerful in our personal brand and also powerful in our employer brand? Imagine the possibilities. So, first things first, why does it matter? Number one, it gives you clarity. Our personal branding journey really starts with knowing who we are. I'm not sure if you've had that journey before. Like, you really have to know what your values are, what your goals are, what your interests are, what your skills and weaknesses are, your strengths and weaknesses. Once you have the clarity, that is the starting point. So when you go to LinkedIn, I know a lot of Filipinos, they will go to LinkedIn, they will create a profile, write their name, then their position, their title, company, date started, date ended. So what are they doing? They're actually treating LinkedIn as a CV. But LinkedIn is not a CV. It's so much more than that. And what I recommend before you even become active on LinkedIn, have clarity. Because without clarity, you will be wasting your time. You will find yourself engaging in different posts, commenting, liking, or not doing at all. So have that clarity first. And personal branding gives you that opportunity to gain clarity. Second, I think the most important benefit of building your personal brand is that it gives you self confidence. Why is that so? Because once you know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know what your goals are, you know your non negotiables are, it gives you the self confidence. And suddenly you will find yourself not comparing yourself anymore with others because you understand that you are unique and you are incomparable. You cannot compare yourself with another person. That gives you self confidence. Third, personal branding matters because the truth is, personal branding is about control. You control your career, you control your future, and therefore you control your reputation because in this world, perception matters a lot, even in the professional world. And personal branding gives you that power to control your future and your career. Number four, because you know who you are, you know what you stand for, now you know what makes you stand out and you have the self confidence and now it will help you really deliberately articulate what makes you different, what your differentiator is. Five, on LinkedIn, when you build your personal brand, you actually increase your visibility. The number one challenge of most people on LinkedIn is visibility. They will post something and then only 5 people, 10 or 20 will see their posts. And that's not really very helpful. That's the number one challenge on LinkedIn. But when you start building your brand, you will be amazed because other people will tag you, will mention you, will react to your post, and that increases your visibility a lot. Number six, building a personal brand empowers you not only to become self confident, it empowers you to inspire others and empower others as well. And this one, I think this is the magic of LinkedIn. When I started my journey, I was just like most people. I was just posting in random. I don't have a goal. I didn't have this personal branding discovery with myself. And then later on, when I became more intentional, I was surprised because whenever I post, people will message me something like, "Thank you for sharing your story. It inspired me, and I think it came at the right time when I needed to hear this the most." And I think that's the one that really will keep you going. Just knowing that one post can change someone's life, that one post can actually inspire people you haven't met, and then they will message you. And suddenly, that's the time that you can build meaningful relationship with people. It empowers you to inspire and empower others as well as you empower yourself. It's really, the fulfillment is there because all of us, we all want to be recognized. We know that we want to be valued, we want to feel seen and heard. And the bonus is when you're able to empower others. Seven, this is not only in the workplace. Building a personal brand helps you build trust. And in business, in the professional world, trust is our currency. If people don't trust you, they won't hire you. They won't do business with you. They won't collaborate with you. They won't partner with you. But building your personal brand helps you get that currency. Given everything is equal between A and B, if B is able to build a powerful personal brand, even if they're equal in terms of skills and strengths, people will always choose B because people do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. And that is super important. And because of all that, number 1 to 7, building your personal brand accelerates your success. I remember when I started in 2017, I set a goal and I said, I'm going to set this goal. I'm going to make this happen in 3 years. But because I was active on LinkedIn, and that goal actually was building VB Consulting. At that time, I don't have a name yet. I just wanted to build something for myself. I was a freelancer at that time. I bought a book by Michael Masterson. I think it's here, The Pledge, Your Master Plan to an Abundant Life. And then I was inspired to set a goal for myself. As a freelancer, I want to get out of freelancing. I want to build my own. But I have no idea how will I do that. I had no idea, honestly. But I said, there's no harm in trying. I'll set 3 years. And then I have major goal, 3 years, minor goal, also 3 years. But because I was active on LinkedIn, I was able to achieve the goal in 3 months, the sub goal. And then the main goal of building VB Consulting in 7 short months. Things happen so fast. And that is just, I was just doing what I wanted to do. I was being authentic. I was sharing value on LinkedIn. I was building relationship. I didn't know that that was the path to really accelerating our success. So there's so much to learn. There's so much to talk about this, to talk about in this aspect. But let's go to LinkedIn. I'd like to ask in a scale of 1 to 10. So maybe I want to ask all of you. 1 to 10, 10 is the highest. So meaning 10, every day you're on LinkedIn. 1 meaning you have your profile, but you're not actually doing anything. So from a scale of 1 to 10, how active are you on LinkedIn? Just type in the name. Oh, thank you for the numbers. 178. So we have quite active, right? 832. Some are not active. Thank you so much. I see your answers there. So my goal, my goal today is for you to be more active and for you to reach your goal in the next 3 months or 6 months for yourself and for your organization. Thank you so much for your answers. Okay, now how do we actually do that? How do we build our personal brand on LinkedIn? It's important. I mentioned this, perception matters. When people search for you, search for a skill, and when you appear on searches and they look at your profile and there's nothing in your profile, you can get people to hire you. You can get people to do business with you, to do collaboration or partnership with you. LinkedIn already has 810 million members from 200 countries and regions worldwide. It's quite young compared to Facebook. But what I see on LinkedIn is that so many opportunities happening. And whether you're on LinkedIn or not, there will be opportunities. Imagine 810 million professionals. In the Philippines, 10 million are on LinkedIn. Very few, but these are all professionals. Many of them are decision makers, and there are like 51 million companies on LinkedIn. That's one of the reasons. If you are already a professional, actually, even while you're in college, I would recommend that you start building your presence and your portfolio and showing up on LinkedIn every single day. LinkedIn is the most trusted platform for 5 years in a row now. You want to build a brand that is on a platform that people trust, because the goal of building your brand is for people to trust you. And you have to go to LinkedIn because this is the most trusted platform according to Business Insider intelligence report. So knowing that there are so many professionals on LinkedIn, so many opportunities, and this is a trusted platform, would you rather look like this? I saw a lot of profiles like this. Sometimes, if I look at your profile, like this one is my second degree connection, probably she's not aware that I cannot see her photo. Her photo. Because it's on the setting. I've looked at some of your profiles. Maybe you saw me yesterday, the other day, look at your profiles. And for some of you, I saw your profile. Some of you, I see this. But maybe when you look at your profile, you can see your photo. But if we're not connected, I probably don't see your photo. It's on the setting. So sometimes it's not intentional. It's just like we don't know how it works. So would you rather look like this, knowing that you're on LinkedIn, which is the world's largest network of professionals? Or would you rather look like this? complete with a profile banner, your name, how you help people, what your hashtags are, and what you are all about. So it's really, a matter of choice. And I'm sure all of you, all of us, all of you are from Great Place to Work certified companies, and I know that you are driven people, and you want to be, you want to put yourself out there and be the best version of yourself. So that's the next question. How do you get started? Again, getting started, does that mean filling out your LinkedIn profile? That's not the first step. The first step is start from within you. Don't skip that portion, that stage, that step of knowing who you are. What are your goals? What are your values? What are your strengths, your weaknesses? And this is important, you know why? Because when you're active on LinkedIn, opportunities will come to you. And when you're not clear about who you are, when you're not clear about your goals, it's easy to say, yes, yeah, sure, let's collaborate, let's partner. Okay, sure. So suddenly you will lose yourself. What am I doing? Why am I saying yes to all of these people? But how about myself? So start from you. And before you create your profile, find the purpose. This may sound cliche, but I think this is a cliche because most of us take it for granted. I was reading an article yesterday from the World Economic Forum. And I remember the author said, based on their research and survey, that because of the pandemic, the workplace has evolved, the workplace has changed. And you know that, we all know that. And now, what's surprising and not surprising at the same time is that according to their research, now more than ever, people are looking for companies who can connect them with their purpose. At the end of the day, one of the things that I learned from a neuroscientist and neuroscience coach that I'm working with is that at the end of the day, we want to feel like we're valued. We want to know that what we are doing at work has a purpose and that it is aligned with who we are. Now, here's a quick tip from Simon Sinek. If you're familiar with him, he has this, short exercise on how you can actually discover your why. So let me just check if I shared my audio. Okay, let me play this now. Here's one way for you to find your why.
Call your friends you love. The ones who you know that if you called them at 3 o'clock in the morning, they would answer the phone. And if they called you at 3 o'clock in the morning, you would be there for them. Do not do this with family. Do not do this with siblings. Do not do this with your spouse. It doesn't work. Those relationships are too close. Do it with the friends you love and ask them the simple question: why are we friends? And they're going to look at you like you're crazy, because the part of the brain that controls feelings and behavior doesn't control language. In other words, it's hard to put into words. Ironically, you stop asking the question why, because the question why is an emotional question and it elicits emotional responses. Like you ask your kids, why are you home late? Shut up, Dad. But if you say, what were you doing that you're home late? They'll answer the question, right? So after your friends say, why are you asking me this? You switch to what questions. Come on, what is it about me? What specifically is it about me that I know that you would be there for me no matter what? And they're going to hem and haw, and it's going to be very difficult for them, and they're going to struggle. Don't help them. Don't let anybody else help them. You have to let them go through the uncomfortable process, and you have to play devil's advocate. So they'll say things like, I don't know, you're funny, you're smart, I can rely on you. And you say, good, that's the definition of a friend. You have that with all your friends. What specifically is it about me that I know you would be there for me no matter what? And they're going to go through this process of, and you're going to say, good, that's the definition of a close friend. You're going to keep at them, and eventually they'll give up. Eventually they'll give up, and they'll stop describing you, and they'll start describing themselves. And this is what my friend said to me. They said, I don't know, Simon. All I know is that I can just sit in a room with you. I don't even have to talk to you, and I feel inspired. And I got goosebumps. In fact, I'm getting them right now, right? So what they did is they articulated my value in their lives, and I had an emotional response. So you'll get to the point where they'll say something that you will either get goosebumps or you'll well up with tears, or something will happen. You will have an emotional response. That's the part of the brain, the limbic brain, that controls those emotions. You won't get the exact words of your why, but you will get in the ballpark. And my friends, what you'll find is if you do it with multiple friends, you'll get very similar, if not the exact same answer, because the value you have in their lives is the same. It's you. So that's a fun way to find your why.
I think that's very beautiful. Our why really is not for us to say what it is. It's for others to say what it is. So when you go back home, ask your friends, again, not your family, ask yourself the question that Simon Sinek mentioned, and discover that why. And I see that on a Great Place to Work LinkedIn page, they actually have a campaign, motivation, purpose, metamorphosis. And I think this is very crucial. It's very crucial that we understand what motivates us to work, what our purpose is, and how we have evolved at work as a professional. So don't skip that. That's the foundation of building a strong personal brand. Now, you still, I would still recommend not to start with your profile yet. I'd like you to answer these three questions. So if you have a notebook, I have a notebook and a pen. If you have a notebook and a pen or a sticky note, I'd like you to take them out. And then I'd like you to answer these three questions. You don't have to answer now, but maybe you can think about it later. But really think about this, because if you are not able to think about this, you will get lost. Question number one: what do you want to be known for? We're talking about personal branding. We're talking about building a perception that is authentic to you. But you have to answer the question: what do you want to be known for? I've asked this to hundreds of people, professionals, very successful entrepreneurs, executives, coaches, and all of them, but not so many of them know the answer. So I'd like you to write it down. What do you want to be known for? And you need to answer that question, because if you don't know what you want to be known for, people will not know you for anything. So if I don't know what I want to be known for, I will be doing, posting content that is not relevant to what I want to be known for, engaging content with people who are not relevant to me, collaborating with people who will not help me with my goals, because I don't know. What do I want to be known for? So answer that question and be honest to yourself. If you don't know what you want to be known for right now, that's okay. But take the time later on to answer that question. Question number two: who do you want to help? At the end of the day, all of us are working. And if we're working only for the money, it's not enough. It's not sustainable. All of us are working. All of us are doing something that makes us fulfilled. And all of us are helping people. So even if, for example, you're part of the organization, in your role right now, who are you helping? Is that aligned with your who you are and who exactly you want to help? Okay, question number one: what do you want to be known for? Question number two: who do you want to help? And question number three: what problems do you solve? All of us are solving problems. I'm here because I'm solving problems. I'm solving problems of coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs who cannot get clients on their own. I help them get clients through LinkedIn. They have problems that I'm solving. So ask yourself, with what you're doing right now, what exactly are the problems that you're trying to solve? So again, what do you want to be known for? Who do you want to help? And what problems do you solve? And once you've answered that, answer that later. You have your purpose, you answer the three questions, we're ready to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Okay? Now, how do we get started? So maybe you already have a profile, but there's nothing on it yet. So these are now tactics and strategies and tips that you can apply. When we say optimize, you're probably not familiar. When we say optimize, it means number one, complete. Complete, because every section on LinkedIn helps you get discovered by people. And then add your keywords to use SEO. If you're familiar with search engine optimization, you have to know what keywords you want to be found for. So add your keywords in your profile. That's the meaning of optimizing your profile, meaning making it optimal so that it can help you achieve your goal. And if your goal is to help elevate your employer brand while you build a strong personal brand, then you have to start with this. Number one, again, these will be tactical. Look at your unique profile URL. You can edit that. So you go to your public URL and edit that from here. It's easier when you give your LinkedIn profile to people that you do business with, people at work. You can say, oh, just go to linkedin.com/in/Virginia Bautista. But if you don't edit this, you will see numbers and letters that don't make sense. So it's also not professional when there are letters and numbers that don't make sense on your URL. So edit that for professionalism also. Number two, use a professional profile photo. Using a profile photo will already make you become more visible on LinkedIn. But it shouldn't be any photo. It should be a photo that is number one, current, and number two, that photo should be how you want to look when you show up in business, when you show up in the professional world. But don't be afraid to show your personality on your photo, of course. Tip number three, customize your LinkedIn profile banner. So I use Tony's banner profile and Carissa's profile. And since they're both part of Great Place to Work Philippines, they have the same banner. So if you have the same goal in your organization, you can have the same LinkedIn profile banner. In some of the companies I work with, so I train the different teams. What they do is that they have different profile banners per team. Say sales team, this is how our profile banner looks like. Um, Communication team, this is how it looks like. HR team, this is how it looks like. But the feel and look are the same. So customize your LinkedIn profile banner because it's an opportunity for you to show your personality and also to build interest when people view your LinkedIn profile. Tip number four, LinkedIn has this featured section. If you haven't done this, feature your best work. Because you can actually highlight this at the beginning, in front of your profile. Whatever it is that you want to highlight, feature it. That's your best work on LinkedIn. That's tip number four. These are tactical and these are simple, but these can all help you become more credible and more human, look more human on LinkedIn. Tip number five, complete your about section. On your about section, you can actually have up to 2,500 characters. Now it's your option. Talk about what you do at work. Yes, but don't forget to add your personality. So I used Carissa's profile because if you're going to read Carissa's about section, she's actually weaving through her own experiences, her background experience, what she's doing currently, how she's helping people at Great Place to Work, and the most important thing is who she is. This is the one that connects. Remember that. This is the one that will make you unique. What is your story? And how is your personal story relevant and related to what you do right now? And what makes you qualified doing what you're doing? So take advantage of the about section. Talk to the person that you imagine you want to talk to. That's tip number five. Number six, optimize your experience section. I looked at some of your profiles. I see that you have the position, you have the company name, but there's nothing on it. You want people to see what is in there in your company without them, jumping to other pages. So I would recommend that you include a description, of course, your position, and then upload rich media that will support, that will show also what you do. So it's more like showing them through rich media, not just telling them who you are. So that will complete also your experience section. And this will also help elevate already. It will already help elevate your employer brand. Because if you have a strong personal brand and people view your profile, they see your company, oh, this is a great company. I want to work in this company because I like this person. Everything is connected. Build a strong personal brand and you are actually elevating your employer brand. Number seven, still many Filipinos ignore this, but this is super, super critical in you getting found on LinkedIn. Add your skills. So you can actually add 50 skills, but you can only pin the top three skills. What I would recommend, pin the top three skills that are most and that are highly relevant to what you do now in the company. That will help you get found on LinkedIn. Number 8, ask for recommendations. So you probably have activities. You can ask recommendations from your colleagues, from your managers, from your leaders. Don't be afraid to ask recommendations from each other. The same way, I would recommend that you endorse each other's skills, because when you endorse each other's skills, you're actually helping each other get found and get discovered on LinkedIn. And that one has more weight. So for example, if Carissa, who has skills in employer branding, if she endorses Tony, also great at employer branding, and then I also endorse Tony, Carissa's endorsement will have more weight because Carissa has employer branding as a skill on her profile, and I don't have that. So what does that mean? Ask for endorsements from your colleagues, ask for endorsements from people with the same skills who are also highly skilled. And so you will see here in my example, Victor is, I think he's from the Netherlands. He's also a LinkedIn expert. And because he is highly skilled at LinkedIn, this one has more weight compared with other endorsements that I have, because he also is highly skilled in the skill that he endorsed me for. So that's a strategy that you can use within the company, endorse each other and give others recommendations. I think if you're a leader, if you're working with a team, be generous in giving recommendations. That will also help elevate your employer brand. And that goes, let's go to how do you actually elevate those things that I mentioned. Those can already help you, but let me make it more specific. First of all, this is very important. You have to align your personal brand with your corporate brand. People always ask me whenever I do workshops in organizations, they ask me, shall I create another LinkedIn profile for employer branding, or should I just use my own profile? First of all, it's a violation of rules of LinkedIn when you have two profiles. So if you have two, you have to delete one. Otherwise, LinkedIn might find out and LinkedIn will remove any of the duplicates, any of those. And if they remove the one that is active, then you will lose all of your connections and your network. Okay, it's very important that you align your personal brand with your corporate brand. So this is, for example, your personal brand, your personal values. Think about your personal values, your purpose, and your personal brand promise. And this is the corporate brand, the values of the corporate, the EVP, the mission, the brand promise. If those are two different things, personal and brand, and there's no alignment, it's very difficult. And that's the thing that makes it difficult for people to decide whether to go to LinkedIn or not. Some of them are afraid because they think that if they post something, their manager is looking and their manager can see what they're doing. And then they would tell me, my manager thinks that I'm looking for a job, so I don't want to be active on LinkedIn anymore. But the thing is, again, I think you have to at least tell your manager, if your manager is not aware, that LinkedIn is not just a place to look for a job. LinkedIn is a place to attract opportunities that will help you, become more productive and become more successful. So going back, align your personal brand with your corporate brand. There should be an alignment. Personal and corporate brand, the one in the middle, the more overlap there is, the better. So why do you need to do that? Why do you need that alignment? I'm sure you've experienced that and maybe you just ignored it. Sometimes it's hard. Am I going to post this or will I post this? Should I post about my company or should I post about my personal story? People are always weighing in. But the truth is you don't have to weigh in. You have to align. And when you align, you are more authentic because it feels natural, because there is an aligned, my values are aligned with the corporate values, my mission is aligned with the company mission, and so therefore I feel authentic. And if you feel authentic, posting on LinkedIn, engaging on LinkedIn doesn't feel like work. And that is why I really don't agree with companies that require people to post on LinkedIn, because you cannot force people to do that. What we can do is start from ourselves. Find that alignment so it feels natural, it feels authentic, and it doesn't feel like work that you have to take on your checklist. I'm sure you already have a long list of things to do every day, and you don't want to add another one, post on LinkedIn. And I see this happening with my team. Because we do LinkedIn, of course, my expectation, and I was hoping that they will also be active on LinkedIn. But I don't want to require them that, hey, you have to be active on LinkedIn. I don't want to do that. Because again, working with a neuroscientist, I've learned that when people get our autonomy, when people get our freedom, the more that we don't want to do it. I'm sure, I don't know if you agree, just in your thoughts. We want that autonomy. We want to have a choice if we want to do it. So we are more invested in it. So therefore, find that alignment. So you feel authentic, it doesn't feel like work. And when it doesn't feel like work, you are empowered. The only way to empower and inspire others through your personal brand is to empower yourself. That's the beginning. So find that alignment. Number two, to elevate your personal brand, your employer brand, build your credibility through content. Whatever you're doing, whoever you're helping, all of this information, think about what content can I share on LinkedIn that will help build my credibility. I'm sure you're already doing that and you're already showing this internally. All you have to do is to magnify that through LinkedIn. So, whatever your keywords are, whatever your expertise is, stick to that and build your credibility and share your journey. This is very, very powerful. I'm not sure if Sandy is here, but Sandy is from Emerson, Philippines, and I just saw this post a couple of days ago. I saw him post this, and it's really, this is something that I really love because he was talking about his own journey. He was able to accomplish something, but he said, do something for yourself. And he told his story, how difficult his journey was, what he did after that. This one, just to let you know, this one is super powerful on LinkedIn. If you compare two kinds of posts, expert insights and your own story, people will um, gravitate towards your story more, your journey more. So I would really encourage you, share your journey, because after all, the purpose of being on LinkedIn is to connect with others, and the only way to connect is to do that emotionally. Your story is meant to be shared. Use that to build a brand that is called you. So really, I really love this. Tell your story. So I see that Great Place to Work also has a campaign. I mentioned motivation, purpose, and metamorphosis. And I think this week they are focusing on purpose. And again, going back to the article that I mentioned, people are now looking for purpose and they expect companies to help them connect with their purpose. So I'll share, I think I have an example here as well. So I'll share that later. So don't be afraid to tell your story. I found this story as well. Lizette, I found her on LinkedIn. She's from Lingaro, and Lingaro also. If there are some of you here from Lingaro, also a great place to work, certified company. This is also very authentic, and this is something also that you can do. Post something, and then it shows who you are. So when she has this hook, having a healthy support system means a lot. And then she talked about what they do on the latest session of Lingaro Philippines Wellness Wednesday. And I think this is super powerful. You know, it's not meant to promote something. You know, it's meant to share a story. And this is the kind of story that resonates with people. It's not when you talk about your achievements. Yes, it will people will celebrate with you. But if you want to connect, be authentic. And I find this really, really authentic. So I really appreciate this. So I use this as an example. So now moving down, how do we leverage your Great Place to Work certification in boosting your employer brand? This is one thing I've noticed. When you get the certification, you post about it only once, just one time. Or Great Place to Work LinkedIn page will share it, and then you will just share it on your page one time. And then there's no second, third, fourth time. How about the rest of the year? I believe that if you have a high trust workplace culture, and honestly, not all companies have that, you have to celebrate that year round. So you have to really show that on your profile and show it off and leave it. So some tips. I am getting examples from you. So if your profile is here, Just thank you so much for that. Using them as examples. So number one, add your badge on your LinkedIn profile banner. That gives personality. And if you are recruiting, if you want to attract people that you want to hire, this is really super powerful. Knowing that you are a high trust workplace company. You're from a company where people trust each other, where people trust the managers, and where people enjoy working with each other. So use that. So great place to work, certified, and I also saw this Asia's best workplaces. So it's not a one-time thing that you're going to post. It has to be there. Be proud because everybody, especially now, wants to work for a company with high trust and where people enjoy working with each other. Number two, your Great Place to Work certification, feature that on your profile. My example is Tony. Tony doesn't know. My example is Tony's profile. This is the featured section. She just launched her newsletter today, Workplace Culture Matters. So I think you should subscribe. But what I really want to show here is that put that in the featured section. I'm Great Place to Work actually features you on their website. And you probably create also your own feature article on your company's website. Now get the link, feature that on your profile so that you show others, show it that you're proud to be in a company where there is a high trust culture. That's the second one. Third one, I want to connect that with telling your story to elevate your employer brand through your personal brand. Don't forget, share who you are, share a personal story inspired not by the badge, inspired by your experience. Because the badge is your symbol, is the symbol. But the one that really inspire you and inspire others is knowing that you are in a high trust workplace culture. So maybe some prompts. Great Place to Work provides some story prompts that you can use because I know it could be challenging. What am I going to post? What story? So think about it. So some suggested prompts that you can use. What motivates you at work? So what motivates you? Make it authentic. Make it sound real. What gives you purpose at work? And how have you evolved at work? These stories, and of course, other stories that you have, these are all powerful in elevating your employer brand. Because after all, future employees, the applicants want to see people in the company. They want to connect with people. They want to join a company because of the people, not because of the logo. So yeah, share your personal story. So let me share this. This is also from a Great Place to Work LinkedIn page where Sandy gave some tips. How do you find your purpose? Let's play this.
You know what they say, the grass is greener where you water it. There will be hard days, and this is a reality in any organization. The perfect organization for you is the one that will be with you and support you, especially during hard times. If you want growth, ask for it. Because if you don't ask for it, the answer will always be no. You really have to fight for it. You have to own your career and not let the pandemic stop you from doing your purpose. It's about finding value in what you do and how you contribute to the organization, and just go to that quiet place inside of you that knows the truth. If you feel that your values and the direction you want for yourself are aligned with the organization's, water that grass. Hi, I'm Sandy Noche. I'm a senior team leader for supply chain analytics at Emerson, and I'm inviting you to watch Philippines Best Workplaces 2022 Motivation, Purpose, and Metamorphosis, happening on March 23 from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. See you there.
So what I want to highlight there, don't be afraid to tell your story. Take a stand and then bring your company with you. What have you learned from the company? What challenges have you overcome? And how has the company helped you in your own professional journey? And you know what? Look at this. So when once shared on Great Place to Work LinkedIn page, I saw Sandy also share that when people, for example, I'm not from the company, but when I saw that this, I know that the story resonates with them. And when I see, respect is the comment, and I know I see them engaging on LinkedIn, that will give, potential candidates for Emerson Philippines a feel of what the culture is like in the company. So use your personal story to elevate your company story or your employer brand. And number 4 and 5, finally, by simply being on LinkedIn, being authentic on LinkedIn, you can inspire others. But sometimes they don't know, they don't see your posts in their feeds. And that's because of the algorithm. Algorithm is a total different discussion, but inspire others by tagging them, by tagging your colleagues in your posts. Talk about your story related to your company, to what you do in the company, and tag your colleagues. And then you will see the engagement. And finally, make yourself visible. Again, visibility is very challenging on LinkedIn, but you can make yourself visible. One of the ways for you to be discoverable is by simply using a hashtag. So I think for Great Place to Work, if you want others to discover that you are from a Great Place to Work certified company, then use the hashtag Great Place to Work PH and PH Best Workplaces. So let me wrap up with 4 points. Number one, don't forget, know who you are. Number two, align with your corporate brand. Number three, build your credibility with content. And most importantly, number four, be authentic. Tell your story, share your journey. That's how you build a powerful brand that elevates your employer brand. Thank you so much. And if you have questions, I'll be here to answer them.
Virginia, thank you so much. Thank you so much for teaching us how to be authentic. Now, before we close, we want to hear from the managing partner of Great Place to Work Philippines. Let's all call in Tony Talosig.
Hey, thanks, Carissa. Thanks, Virginia. I know we're running out of time, but really, I just wanted to share that in every interaction that I have with clients, there is one common desire that we see. It is to elevate your employee experience and your employer brand. So we are in a room full of Great Place to Work certified companies. Your certification is a testament to the great employee experience that you have. And your badge is a very powerful tool to elevate your employer brand. The reason why we did this webinar is because we find that some companies fail to fully leverage your certification. Like there's a tendency that after being awarded and celebrating your recognition, the badge is left to dust off as if it's hanging on a virtual wall or it's left standing on a desk like a virtual plaque. But the good news is that there's more that you can do so you can reap the many benefits of being Great Place to Work certified. If after sitting there for an hour, you're still wondering what's the link between my personal brand and your company's employer brand, I just want to close by reminding you this, that it is the voice of your people, your employees, that say that your company is a great place to work. So similarly, as your company's HR, or be it your talent acquisition officer, PR, or whatever your role is, it is also, your voice via LinkedIn or that platform that can testify to the great employee experience that you have in your company. And by doing so, you build both your personal brand and you elevate your employer brand. So thank you again, Virginia, for sharing your time and expertise with us. For me, really, there's no person, better than Virginia, who can talk to us about LinkedIn and elevating your employer brand and your personal brand. So thank you, Virginia, for your time. We are excited to see how you guys put everything that you learned today in practice. If you have any question, we ran out of time, but feel free to drop us a message. You can connect with Virginia via LinkedIn as well. And thank you everyone for joining us today.